All right, so today we're doing Sprint 3. The big addition was handles and create extending our project to be multi-threaded. So we create the handle manager, the sound manager, and then we spawn off the audio thread. Um, and then we are going to go down and look at the update loop because what we're going to be doing is waiting for a key to be hit, and when that key hits, it'll send the different commands for the specific sound. So we have quit, we have pause, excuse me, space for play, arrows up and down for volume, arrows right and left for pan, and P for pause. So we initially we hit A to start the sound, and that's going to create the sound object and call start on it, which is going to send a command over to the output queue, which is going to be read, or the input queue, excuse me, which is going to be read by the audio thread. The big addition this sprint is the handle. So we are going to, when we create a handle, we're going to activate it and check that it's valid. Now we have the handle status. So these are the commands that you can call on the sound object: change volume up and down, pan, left, right, start, stop. And so when our sound is created, it creates the lock, creates the handle and make sure it's valid, and then it's going to point out that it's been created, and then the handle is going to tunnel those calls back to the handle manager. So handle manager actually activates and invalidates and checks if they're valid. They're just daisy chained through the handle call to the handle manager call. And then we have the lock2 input. Lock and lock2 input are the two objects created for handle. They're just the two locks for the handle when you're activating, and then when you're trying to acquire a resource, you lock it, and then lock the resource lock. Uh, then we have the invalidate, which is just going to check that it's within range on the table and actually valid. And then once it sees that it's valid, it's going to check the race condition to see if someone else has tried to access it already. And if no one has already tried to access it between the first check, it's going to then change the state to invalid, and it's going to unlock the mutex to the resource. Otherwise, there was a race condition and someone else has already tried to access it, and then if otherwise, it will have completely failed and it'll send out the error notice. And then next we've got the handle manager. It's got the create function that I mentioned earlier, which is just text to make sure it's not the instance singleton isn't a null instance, and then it creates it and prints the table. The print will all be invalid. And then the same thing for the sound manager. Create checks to see if the instance is created yet. If not, it creates a new one. And then on update for the sound manager, it's going to check to see if any commands have been added to the out queue. And that's in the sound man update right there, which is done after the on each update on the game. It's going to update the spaceship rotating, and it's going to update the sound manager, checking to see if any commands have been sent. Those commands would be sent by the callback from the voice once it's finished. And now we're going to run it. I'm going to hit A to start it. You'll see me change the volume and the panning with the arrow buttons. And then I will hit P to pause, command or space to play, and eventually quit, Q to quit. And that'll be my whole demo. Thank you.